everyone. Welcome. I'm going to be doing these live now just because it's easier for me to record them this way, I guess. And yeah, I really just don't want to spend time editing. Yeah, be going over my projects live, and they'll be available right after this. So today is going to be kind of just an update on the project I showed in the last video. I think that one was called deploying React apps with Docker, and I've made a lot of advancements. The end of that video was sort of about I've got all of this. I've got kind of this web app set up and it deploys with Docker Compose. And now, what should the app actually be? Because I kind of just had a thing, and it's like a website and has data coming from an Express backend or a Node backend and everything. Yeah, and I was like using an API and all this stuff was happening, but it just wasn't useful. So that was like a really great realization for me to be like, wow, I've kind of got an app working. Let's see if I can actually like build a product now. And it's cool because actually, like, through all my research, I found out that this whole concept that I created, what I didn't even create, like this is already a thing. So the stack that I am using is is called MERN, and that's an acronym for MongoDB, Express.js, which is the API, React, which is the front end, and then Node, which is the back end. So kind of seems like Express and Node are sort of the same thing, but I guess like the API compared to like end logic are sort of separate, even though for me they're all really contained in this server.js file here. So yeah, I'm going to go over some of the additions that I've made to the app that I showed in the last video. So I'm going to bring it over here and first just kind of start with a demo like I always do. So here's what our user component has now become. So you can see I'm logged in as myself. And if we pull up our developer tools over here, that we'll see in our network tab that I'll just refresh this guy. And we can see in our network tab that we're calling our user endpoint. And our response, here is kind of the response that we're expecting. There's me, and signed in is true. So same deal as before. We can we're still hosting this locally, so we can pull up our endpoint and just look at our API response. So there would be the GET request of the user API. So user component still right there, but now we have kind of an account value right here. So I've actually made this a trading app, and I'm sure you could have guessed that by now, but yeah, I had all of that data where I was like, yeah, I've got stuff, kind of information about NBA players, but the app isn't useful. So I decided, why don't I kind of make a way for people to maybe invest in any player in the NBA, and just like a stock, the price of that player can go up, and then you can potentially like gain value off of that. So yeah, a lot of new bells and whistles here. You see I've like added photos of all the players, and they all have a price now, but same basic concept. We've got our cards. This is all just bootstrap styling, and we've got every player here. So really the data is essentially the same. I've just added a few bells and whistles. So still got our 500 players. And if we're to look at just one player in the response, we have pretty much everything the same, except now we have an image, which I also kind of just used Python to scrape from the internet. I'll show you guys that process. And we now have a price as well. So the price is sort of derived from, just some Python scripts that I wrote, and I will also take you guys through kind of the logic there. That is definitely the least feathered kind of department of this app right now, I guess. If I were to break this down to pretty much everything that I work on, there would be like the front end, the back end, the database, sort of design sometimes, and then the data. And the data is something that you guys have checked out before, and that's all in that scrape section of my front end directory in the repository. And we'll kind of talk about that. But sure, a few more things. We'll demo a trade really quick. So as we can see, we can click and kind of initiate a trade. So then this will tell us that we have bought 3 shares for this price. And if we click OK and then go to our account, we will see our portfolio. Which is going to then show us all of the players that we've invested in. We just bought 3 shares of Giannis right here, and we can see 3 for the total value right there. And these cards are the same as any player component in the regular app, but we're just in the account now. So we can make the trade again from right here. If we want to sell 2 shares, we can do that right here, and then our page will reload, and you see our cash and our equity will change accordingly. And then our shares of Giannis will go down to 1 because we just sold 2. So that's kind of how the trading happens. That's all going through the same Express.js API and my Node backend. So that's the portfolio. And let me go back to the account actually. Just so that we could see that, all of our auth or kind of our user capabilities are still here, so we can still do all of this if we want, and change password, things like that. Oh, I didn't update this form to the Bootstrap, the nice Bootstrap styling yet, so I'll do that. But these buttons are a lot nicer than the other ones. So we also have this search capability. We can say, I don't know, we want to search for this string, and it'll bring us to the app and show us, all the players that match that string. So, this was nice to be able to, find out, I guess, how powerful a non-relational database really is. Like, the document style makes it so much easier for Mongo to just like rip through and search for a string. So that's really nice to be able to filter down like that. You could pretty much find any player you want, since this is a list of 500. No one wants to scroll through this. Other additions, I think that's pretty much it. We've still pretty much got everything. You could go to your go to a specific team and look at those guys. I was thinking of maybe making it possible for users to invest in an entire team. That would be cool. We'll talk about next steps sort of at the end. I'm gonna try to keep this one short. We're going on like 10 minutes right now, but yeah, hopefully this doesn't take too long, I guess. We will log out and then let's look at some code. Oh yeah, I also like this little icon that I added here. But you know. So then the account page is just where you can then sign up. And everything is handled in this header really. Other than just looking through the players, everything is handled right up here. And yeah, sadly, I got rid of our lovely spinning React logo. So sad to see that go. But I think that's pretty much it for the demo. Let's look at some code now. I don't want to talk about the API for too long because there's so much new stuff that has happened with the API. But one thing that I will talk through is searching. So using Mongo to search is actually really easy. All I did was alter get players. So before get players was probably just this string with nothing in find. And yeah, team can now be passed through as well because we wanted to use the database instead of the front end to filter down the players when you're on a teams page. So it's just calling the same method when we're on one team's page in the website, but it's specifying team. And then Mongo says, okay, look up from player table any ID that matches the team field of that player. So from the front end, we kind of like build the API call to take from the URL the team ID that we're at, and then it'll match that one on this so that we get all the players from that team. But yeah, so that's what this team ternary is. And then if there's no team parameter being passed through, then we'll go back to our normal query where, you know, we're kind of just on the app page and by default, we want to look at all the players, but we've added this kind of filter, or maybe this is like a subquery, I guess. It's just way different with NoSQL. But yeah, I'll call it a subquery to the find where we're saying that we want you to find the name that matches this regular expression. And that is passed through from the URL as well with term. I just means that it's not case sensitive, but the regular expression of the term, this wrapper kind of just turns term into a regular expression and says any record that's name is matching this regular expression, we want you to return instead of all of them. So by default, this will be nothing and it will return all of them like we saw. You'll see all the players, but then if, yeah, this looks like shit when you move size. Yeah, if we do that, then we'll see that the URL changes and we have this query string and term is equal to H. So then we will, you know, filter these guys down to, yeah, only the players whose name match this string. So that's Mongo for kind of searching. Yeah, there's been a ton of additions here. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but like positions are something that's related to the user and their trades. So when a trade is initiated, that user is going to have a new position added. in the positions table. So a position has, I think, we could just go and look at it. Let's do positions. It's going to have like a user ID and then player ID and US ID. This might not be right. Let's go up here. Yeah. Should be there, I guess. Do we not set up the actual endpoint for getting? Maybe we didn't. Just want to see if it's spelled right or not. Looks like it is. Yeah, I don't know. We're not seeing that, I guess. Let's go to the account page, see if we see anything in our network tab. Yeah, so we hit our positions endpoint right here, and we'll see. I don't know why we're not working over here. Each of my positions, actually, this endpoint will have all of the positions. So it doesn't matter what user ID is. This is just going to be everyone's positions. And the position will have its own ID, and then it'll have a user ID. So this one's 604. Yeah, these are both mine. I don't think, since like the database is new, I haven't really like gone in and like messed around with other accounts, but we could do that just to prove that like let's do that, and then yeah, we'll buy. Oh, that didn't log me in. Let's see. I'm forgetting all my users. Yeah, so let's go in as I think I just hit the wrong password. Fat finger over here. That didn't log me in either. All right, I'll try that one more time. This isn't crazy important. Just kind of wanted to show the schema structure, I guess. I think all the passwords are 0, 1, 2, 3. Let's just make sure. Yeah. Huh. Okay, so that's a bug too. But yeah, for whatever reason, log in as me right now, I guess. Oh no, I can't even log in as anyone. Yeah, something shut down over here. Looks like everything is working now. But whatever. Yeah, I think That looks like made something happen. Yeah, I'm gonna try just restarting the back end. See what happens. So like this. We should see that this is going to listen on port 3000. Yeah, because that was weird that I couldn't pull up the positions API endpoint. So now, just wait for it to say, okay, it says it's listening. Let's see what happens here now. Still no. Users works. And play. Players. Trades. Nothing in trades, and then names. See if I could log in now. No. Oh, wait. Yeah. So that's good. Yeah, obviously this thing isn't perfect, guys. But I just want to make sure this is still going to work. Yeah, so then we'll be logged in as new user, and we can make a trade. Sometimes you just gotta give these things a break, you know. So we'll buy a couple shares of Anthony Davis. And then we'll go over to my account, and this you'll see that is never changing because this is designed to be like the value of your account, so your cash plus your equity. And eventually I want this to be able to like go up when your stocks are going up, but it's hard to like simulate that right now, you know. So yeah, if we look at our positions endpoint, then actually we are only returning the positions of the current user, so that's good. I was actually going to say that that's like something that should be different, but right. So this is our one position, and then it's our player ID, which we use to then create this all trades. I guess I'm not really sure what this is called, but I'll show you guys how to create it in Mongo. It's kind of like an array of all of the trades, which is this endpoint right here that have been made with this player. So this all trades part of this position is an array of all of the trades in this endpoint matching my user ID right here, current user's ID, and the player ID. Let's see. This is the trade. It's a buy. There was the price, the quantity. See both of those, and the time that it happened. So there's the user ID, and then if you go into trades, you can see that yeah, this is like a different API call, but in the trades table, which I could show you guys, we would see this exact trade. So let me actually show you guys how to query the database like that. And that's kind of interesting. So we'll take a look at that. Yeah, I used to have that Mongo Express kind of endpoint, but it stopped working once I trying to find out what I'm looking for here. Yeah, it I forget what I did that made this thing stop working, but now I just don't use Mongo Express and I just bash in to the actual container. Use it like this. So I will show you guys how that works, guys. It's kind of cool. If you do bash and you go into like the interactive terminal like this, and you can run Mongo. And you can see my database is reacting, or the container is reacting over here in its logs. And here I'll say use admin, which is the database. So I have to do auth first, which is why I switched to admin. So I'll say db.auth. Yeah, so let's see. It's not very user-friendly. It just says one when you successfully authenticated yourself. But now if I say use finite, my database, I can say db.trades.find. Actually, if I do that, it'll show me all my trades. So just like I said before, there's my most recent trade, our 3 shares of Anthony Davis, and then we can go and do the same thing with positions. And we will see our position of 3 shares. And you just trust that this is indeed Anthony Davis's player ID. So then what we were seeing in the network tab with that query response is actually when we do get positions, I was specifying the user ID. So then it gave me the all trades from the trade table, created this array right here, kind of like a subquery where the player ID matches the player ID of the trade. So that's how that works. And yeah, the player is just so that I could have the whole player there in the query response, and same for the team. Just like have all that data available in the subquery. So I might do a longer video about kind of how all of the data is kind of sifted through in all these different processes with the app. So that is something that I would definitely be interested in. I actually have to go. I'm going to continue this retrospective kind of this afternoon. So I'll be live again to talk more about the data and how I use Python to gather all of it, and also advancements in the front end, look at a lot of React code, and then kind of conclude the retro with next steps and what I want to have done by the time I'm, ready to make another one of these update videos. So thanks a lot for checking this out, guys, and please leave me any feedback that you have about the app so far, about the demo. It's my first time going live, so yeah, this is very unfettered, and I didn't really have a schedule, but we'll be back this afternoon to talk a little bit more about some of those other parts of the project that I didn't get into in this short half hour here. So yeah, stay tuned, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers. Have a good day.